Hey, welcome everybody, both cadets and Dcentral community here. My name is Justin Wu, and I am the co-founder and CEO of Dcentral. We host many Web3 events, both online and in person. And actually, we hosted our biggest, most recent conference in December during Art Basel in Miami. And we had the great opportunity to also host Kadena on the main stage as well, too. And today we're doing a follow-up with our community series with builders and people in the space as well. It's kind of highlighting those that are actually directly impacting the projects and actually contributing to the projects, and why not go directly to the source themselves, not trying to get it through influencer shields and other potential floodsters and everybody out there. We'd rather go directly and talk to them as well. And yeah, this is an ongoing series. We have a lot of other Kadena content coming as well too. I just did a little talk with CADX, you guys might have known, and then also too we have another talk with Hypercent. But today we're excited to continue on with this community AMA with everybody here. And I'll bring onto the stage. We'll get Paul here. Hey, Paul, how's it going?
Justin, good morning. Pleasure
Hey,
to be
good,
here.
good. Awesome. And then we'll get another guy here, Francesco. How's it going?
Hey, Justin. How are you? Doing great over here.
Doing great as well too. So if it's a GM for everybody or good night for everybody that's tuning in late, depending where you are in the world, I want to say welcome. Well, yeah, just to kick things off, I guess, we have a lot of cadets in here, but also too, we have also a lot of new people from the Dcentral community, DecentralCon community, and also too, new people just started tuning in. For those that don't know too much about Kadena, I guess, yeah, if you guys can give us a little quick intro about Kadena and what you guys are up to everybody that's new.
Yeah, sure. I mean, first of all, Justin, thank you so much for having us here. And hi to the rest of the community out there. Whether you've been here for a long time or, just joining us now, happy to give a quick background on Kadena. So Kadena is the only next generation layer 1 platform that's innovating on proof of work. We've actually taken proof of work and managed to scale it infinitely with the chain web algorithm. And the way that works is basically that, there's more than one chain running at the same time in the Kadena blockchain. We started off with 10 chains at launch and scaled that up to 20 chains in production, in the August of 2020. We now have tested the system up to hundreds of thousands of chains. Basically, so if you see each chain as, more or less like an Ethereum today, we're already 20 times more throughput than that, and we could be thousands of times more than that. And on top of this innovation on just the base layer itself, where you can scale horizontally, we've also designed a smart contract language called Pact, which is a domain-specific language for blockchain. It fixes all of the pain points of languages like Solidity, which make it very hard for developers to write bug-free code, which in turn results in very slow innovation times, because these bugs are now potentially securing billions of dollars and irreversible bad things can happen. So Pact has thought of all those pain points by designing a language that's domain specific for blockchain and with all the limitations sort of a blockchain environment in mind. This means that we have formal verification built into the language, which is comparable to something like automated auditing, because it means that now users can write functions where they can be 100% certain of the inputs and outputs that they would produce in there. And also we can guard things such as modifying state within the smart contracts themselves, which is another sort of huge vector for potential bugs out there.
I'll summarize it down as an investor, cut to a chase like an operator does. Kadena is the next generation blockchain. We're purpose built for blockchain for the billions. We have mainstream use cases underway. It's going to work. That's what gives me a lot of optimism about working with Kadena and Kadena Eco. Very excited to engage with our community today, meet all of you Kadenians, and excited to share our thoughts about the future visions of what we're building.
Awesome. Yeah, I think you guys kind of covered a lot. You guys are taking kind of the best of all the worlds of all the different elements from proof of work, proof of stake as well too. that's out there, and essentially combining it all together into your guys' ecosystem. And I guess a question that does come up a lot too, with especially with a lot of different ecosystems, or some of them are leaning heavily towards POS only now, trying to gravitate towards proof of work. But proof of work, is by far the most secure and decentralized consensus algorithm so far. And you guys scaled it, but how do you guys kind of address the carbon footprint when it comes to kind of like proof of work consensus algorithms compared to like POS?
Yeah, I mean, of course, like that's no one wants to make the planet any warmer than it is today. So we have addressed these pain points with Kadena. So Kadena is proof of work, but you can think of it sort of as a mining 2.0, because that underlying network itself scales. It means that actually, as more and more people come to use the network, the carbon footprint per transaction goes down. Because today we're at 20 chains, and there's X amount of electricity going into there. You can think about it today like something like 4,000 to 5,000 fridges in terms of electricity. But what this means is that with Kadena, as you scale the base layer from, say, today 20 chains to 20,000 chains, it means that with the same electricity, you are actually mining and validating 1,000 times more transactions. So that means that when you scale up the chain, the cost and the carbon footprint per transaction goes down proportionally. So there's no wasted energy like there is in a single chain system like a Bitcoin or an Ethereum today. And apart from the energy efficiency, we also open up all sorts of ways to further decentralize mining.
Well, let me do some myth busting with some analogies. Some of the older blockchains are gas guzzlers in terms of cars. Their MPGs are 10 to 17. We all know about proof of work, Litecoin, Bitcoin, variants of Bitcoin, some ETH1 proof of work there. Some of the newer chains, the next generation chains, fix that problem with energy efficiency. And I have a lot of respect for a lot of the other layer ones that are very energy and transactional efficient. Kadena fits into that second bucket. Think of this as electric cars, Rivians and Teslas. So that generational or the blockchain technology is being upgraded. We're seeing tremendous efficiency gains, and going forward, we will see blockchains be tremendously energy efficient. Kadena is aligned with that as well.
So it's kind of jumping into the next generation, or next generation, to say, of blockchains and moving forward, because no dig to all the other like even Bitcoin, but it has been really resource intensive, and it's going to continue to do so as it continues to grow. And it's always been, it depends on who you ask. Some people don't care, some people do care. I see some people in the comments say they don't care about the planet. That's not true. But we should definitely care. And also we see even that being a roadblock for some people, even adopting even something like Ethereum too, with like NFTs. Just a simple talk about NFTs and the carbon footprint of that as well too, and that impact as well. So it's always good in mind to think about scalability and even just leaving a low carbon footprint as well, while being able to do that. I think that's always a good goal to achieve. And if you guys can do both, that's a double win right there. I guess kind of diving a little bit deeper too in terms of about the ecosystem itself too. I guess love to learn more about your guys' backgrounds as well too, kind of what you guys have focused on or studied and built around, and how that is leading into building the Kadena ecosystem as well.
Yeah, sure. So my background formally is as an engineer. I joined actually Kadena on the engineering team. And then earlier last year, I think in January 2021, I moved over to the business development team, oversaw a lot of the growth that happened, during the calendar year, and then switched over to running strategy. And now glad to have Paul join me for this effort here at Kadena Eco for the hyper growth of the Kadena ecosystem, since we're at this inflection point of growth. for dApps, etc. On Kadena itself. And also, I'll take this moment to announce Tyler Benster. He formally posted a Medium yesterday. I encourage you all to read that. He's joining us as head of tech adoption. Apart from being an awesome guy, he's a PhD at Stanford, a long history of investing with Asimov Ventures, and an early believer in Kadena, both as an investor and an early programmer with a PAC smart contract language. So, we're more and more than happy to welcome Tyler on board. And, just the first of many people joining us to come.
Welcome, Tyler. And those who haven't checked it out, take a look at it on Twitter. Awesome. And how about you, Paul? So you are investing and kind of helping build the ecosystem further. I guess you want to share your kind of background.
Justin, very honored to meet another growth hacker.
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for how you apply data to product to growth. That's been my background and experience for over 2 decades. Started Web1 as a venture capitalist on Sand Hill Road, did a bunch of deals in e-commerce and social networking. In Web2, went to get my operational experience at Zynga as an early employee, saw some tremendous data go into how we design products there. Rolled over some of those Zynga IPO proceeds into cryptocurrencies in 2013. That launched my kind of rabbit hole exploration into Web3, and have been doing it ever since. Just
went down the rabbit hole.
deep. Just this past few weeks, joined Kadena CEO as Chief Investment and Innovation Officer. Very interested in both investing, especially how it innovates the frontier of the biggest opportunity that we see right now. Very excited to join this highly technical team, deploy these perspectives about use cases to scale Kadena to the mainstream.
Awesome. And so would you say that your role is then just like to find great teams, great dApps, and different foundational pieces that would work directly inside the ecosystem, or you're looking to bring more people to move over from one chain or even expand out into a multi-chain plug into Kadena?
The biggest opportunity right now is the migration from Web2 to Web3. We have all these friends who are looking to leave their FANG jobs to enter the space. learn by doing. We all know them. This is such a big opportunity. I think growing our technology for those mainstream use cases is how Francesco, Tyler, Will, Stu, and I think about our opportunity ahead of us.
Awesome. And you've seen it and you've been in around Silicon Valley and Sand Hill Road and everything as well too. And I finally started to see, like, this year, like, we're starting to see a lot of people finally in the Bay Area and other surrounding area, like, really fully adopt Web3 now, making this jump, right? I didn't in 2017. It was a little bit more still hesitation, which was a interesting thing to see. But now we're starting to see the wave or people getting down the rabbit hole of Web3 too. So that's always exciting to see for more further adoption too.
Hey, we're digging part of the rabbit hole here, so.
Right? And I think that's what's great. It's just trying to bring more, like you said, more bigger players that have done it very well in Web 2. Obviously, Web 3 has a whole different spin and angle to it, but more experienced builders in previous spaces and teams, and having them migrate over, I think that it's also much needed as well too.
And Justin, I'll caveat that with different experience. Diversity will win in Web3, and it's not to say the current generation won't sustain their leadership. Technology trends generally point to the winners of today aren't the winners of tomorrow. That's traditional disruptive innovation. But I do have a lot of respect for a lot of the current builders today, their ethos around positive sum growth. Biden's executive order yesterday with responsible innovation is also something that's a big Web3 ethos, and excited to embrace everyone who wants to build along that parameter for Web3. And Kadena is certainly welcoming a lot of builders for that innovation. Awesome.
And I think that kind of and also too, as the more bigger and other experienced people come into the space as well too, we're yeah, just seeing more builders that I should say that are contributing to the ecosystem, and also to not like we've seen even in this Web3 world, some of these anon devs too, they're just disappearing. They're just not saying anybody, but like you won't see that with some of the bigger groups and entities now that's out there, and hopefully not, but I think that's what's needed just to move forward in the ecosystem too as well. And I guess kind of leading on to like the next question is, why have you created the kind of Kadena ecosystem and Kadena Eco, and what is your guys' vision for it as well?
Yeah, I mean, the grand vision here is to bring blockchain to the mainstream, and we're confident that Kadena is going to be the platform that is going to allow that. What the other stuff that's gone behind Kadena Eco, I know we only announced it a few weeks back, but it's something that's been in the works for a lot longer than that, like several months before then. And we've waited until now to sort of announce this to the world, and getting the incentives out there, getting builders building, simply because we're an inflection point for growth on Kadena. We're starting to see lots of community-oriented projects without too much help from Kadena entity itself, starting to launch things like DeFi infrastructure, the first NFT projects coming up. So now we're here to support this growth and support these builders coming to Kadena. And the idea behind Kadena Eco is that we want to support builders that are coming, from any level and from every direction. We want to support both, community-oriented grassroots projects, testing the waters and building on Kadena, bringing forward the frontier of what's possible on our blockchain, but also going all the way up to, established companies in Web 2 that already have millions of users, daily active users, and, want to pivot to Web 3, or want to insert sort of a Web 3 product into their offering to their customers. And Kadena and Pact are the perfect technology for companies sort of in that frame of thought to use. So, we want to create this company and vehicle to bring all builders that want to build on Kadena together.
My vision is simple: empowering builders with innovation. Simple formula for success in my career in innovation. Innovation equals ideas plus capital plus builders. You guys supply the ideas, we supply the capital. We're hodlers, we're builders. We will co-build with you to transform that innovation. And that's why I'm here. That's why Francesco is here. Justin, thank you for hosting us. I want to share that with everyone out there to come work with us and come build.
And so the idea between the difference between like the main Kadena and Kadena Eco as a separate entity is you guys are more focused on just growing the ecosystem, innovation, and investing. And whereas the I guess the how would you differentiate the main Kadena? You just call it Kadena. Is just on expanding or just maintaining the protocol?
Yeah. So I mean, Kadena is working on very deep tech, like pushing forward the frontier of what's possible in blockchain technology. We've been doing so for several years. A lot of these innovations that we brought forward, they're still very much sitting under the hood of an API, so not necessarily visible to people that want to use it in practice. So the goal of Kadena Eco, apart from pushing the growth of the ecosystem, is to bridge what's the great innovation that's happening at the theoretical level of Kadena and make this accessible on a practical level to builders, artists, anyone who wants to come on to the Kadena platform. Like one great example of that is, gas stations. The gas station is something that we'd embedded into the Kadena protocol quite a long time ago, but we brought forward to the world and got the use case out of it from the first dApps that are now able to let their users interact with the blockchain without necessarily knowing that they're doing so. So we've had this powerful idea for a long time, but it does take a practical use case in order to sort of amplify that message and attract even more to sort of come and use this innovation.
And yeah, I think you guys are taking like a good approach to it. I mean, it is a big undertaking to kind of bring Web3 talk to the mainstream as well too. I guess for your guys' perspective, so what you guys said that you guys are focused on bringing Web 2, a lot of Web 2 applications into Web 3. Is it more specifically in different subsections like DeFi, NFTs, or social? Like, I guess where are you guys focusing on, or do you guys have like a few different focuses that you guys are targeting in terms of adoption and getting builders to work on?
We're focused on the $1 trillion categories that are being created today. We have line of sight around 5 of these today. Obviously DeFi, NFTs, metaverse, DAOs, gaming. There's probably social Web 3 that's emerging right now.
Brand new social
brand
DAOs
new, as of a few weeks, and obviously variants of that. GameFi, Metaverse-Fi. However, the innovation shapes out. Generally, as an investor, you want to be creating these category leaders.
Yeah, and I think for Kadena in general, going after just one vertical would be totally short selling the power of what Kadena can do. We are a multi-purpose blockchain that's built to scale in a place where you can come and build today and know that years down the line you'll be able to enjoy the same low fees and be able to scale your DApp regardless of how many people come to the blockchain space, right? Because if chains are already congested today, before we're anywhere near real mainstream and user-focused apps, like I can only imagine what's going to happen down the line. And we've thought of this a long time ago, so we're ready to attract as many developers and dApps on Kadena as want to come.
Which is an important point. I mean, we're still like, crypto in general is only like 2 trillion market cap, right? It's still not like fully mainstream. That's not even like one Apple stock. Like Apple stock is still bigger than the whole crypto market itself. And we're not even doing like Visa level throughput yet. And even if there is, it's just like a lot of these chains that have been built early on, which is great for I guess blockchain 1.0, 2.0, however you see it as well. But they haven't been fully tested. Or if you did see them being stress tested, the gas has just been insanely high with like ETH getting massive slowdowns, or a few other chains as well too. But I think that scalability and even moving from ETH 2.0 has been a huge challenge to migrate as well. And that just always creates more opportunities for more innovation and even just thinking about scalability now ahead of time, so that when it comes to being fully tested, you don't want some of the big, like you said, the Web 2 guys that are jumping on that actually has millions and millions of users come on board and hit those user experience issues with gas and I guess congestion on the network. Though, if the user experience sucks, then it's just going to be a terrible experience, and people are going to say screw blockchain again, and how's it better than others as well too. So I think it's an important point.
No, totally, and also on the UX front, a lot of it is people think of UX of UI/UX, like on the website that you're on. Mm-hmm. But there's the whole other side of UX of, hey, you're trying to send a user to an exchange where they need to pass KYC with a picture of their passport. Then they need to look at this complicated graph to buy some ETH or whatever other currency, send it to a MetaMask wallet where they need to write down these 12 words, which they're probably going to lose. So, like even before the people have come to your website, you've already lost them, right? So we want to take these principles that were out there in Web 2 of, hey, actually make it seamless for people to come over and use your app and make it fun for them. And these things are only possible if you're innovating on the base layer of the blockchain itself, where you can totally abstract away things like wallets with advancements like gas stations.
I think that's a good point, especially seeing how people are just trying to get in terms of mainstream adoption with like even just buying NFTs, for example, too. But there's still a lot of different usability and issues that happens on that front too, just for something that's just even purchasing NFTs.
Yeah, and
Justin, I'll add on to that. When I was doing my due diligence, obviously opportunity cost is tremendously high, probably more costly than investment capital in this crypto world. When I was doing my due diligence on Kadena, I took a look at a lot of the shortcomings of today's Web3 applications. Usability, as you described, is one of them. Accessibility is another one. Trust, you referenced this earlier in terms of anonymous builders. We are real people. We're here to do positive things for the world. These are the 3 pain points that are really existent in today's Web3 applications that I believe has large potential for Kadena to solve. And we're going to solve these 3 things over time. That this is kind of the opportunity ahead of us, how we think about, how I think about, the investment case to be investing more and more time in Kadena Eco.
Awesome. I guess for those that have been following the ecosystem and Kadena in general too, I guess, is there any like particular projects or things that you guys are looking out for towards that you can share at least? I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that's happening behind the scenes as well too. But is there anything that you guys are looking forward in terms of like the rollout? Obviously, we've got CADEX coming through, and a few others as well too, whether it be NFTs and others as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just to take a step back for now, it's like we're looking to attract all and every builder that's coming to Kadena. Both, as I said, community-oriented project to large and established companies coming over to us. And we're doing this with 5 tools that will sit under Kadena Eco, 5 initiatives. One of them is an accelerator that looks a lot like a sort of Y Combinator, Techstars model. Then we're also going to have an incubator that looks more like a very hands-on model where we'll actually get involved and write some code for you and help you sort of go from idea stage to be able to raising a seed round from well-known investors or a community or whatever your path forward for the particular ideas. Then we're also going to have a research and development arm, which, as I mentioned, is going to be sort of the driving force to bringing forward what are innovations that are sitting below the API level, so still very theoretical in the eyes of a consumer, and bringing that forward to make it something that's easily usable by devs of any skill, whatever language they've learned in the past. They're not going to need to have any blockchain, domain-specific knowledge. They're just going to want to be involved in the blockchain space. And then to augment a lot of community building out there, we're in the talks to launch a grants program. To incentivize these community-oriented projects that we're always on the lookout for. And then, sort of the more institutional vehicle that sits under Kadena Eco is a traditional venture fund that, Paul has also come on, apart from being like a huge key member in Kadena Eco, come on to be the GP of this venture fund, where we'll be allocating capital to all sorts of companies building on Kadena or whatever stage of development may be at.
Awesome. I guess we could take either like a few more questions over here as well. I think we're coming to the half-hour mark here as well. I guess while we have some people sending in some questions and whatnot too.
Maybe I could talk about like some of the ideas that we are looking to get built.
That'd be
Kadena,
great. That'd be great.
So
if everybody that's actually watching and listening too, you have ideas or you're building something really cool, or you want to kind of find some teams and you have some skill sets as well, I think definitely reach out to the Kadena Eco team as well. And love to hear from you what you guys are looking at.
One of the obvious places to look at is actually the Kadena IO GitHub repositories themselves. There's so much tech in there that Kadena has taken on its shoulders to build internally to augment our ecosystem and to provide infrastructure that's just ripe to be taken and formed into a company on its own. For example, like there's code out there for both bridges and oracles, which is ready to be taken over by either an existing company or someone trying to start a new venture. There's all sorts of infrastructure that's possible. Like, for example, internally, apart from Chainweb Node, which is the major blockchain node for Kadena, there's Chainweb Data, which under the hood actually looks a lot like what the graph is today for EVM and other chains. That's ready to go. And also, we definitely need some help on making new community-oriented block explorers, analytics dashboards. There is some talks of lending platforms or the like. And also just the way Kadena mining works, people still have sort of a frame of reference that mining in a pool has to work exactly like it does in Bitcoin and Ethereum today. But Kadena, with the multiple chain architecture, actually makes it possible to build decentralized mining pools where a centralized service doesn't have to take in all the coins and then pay out shares to people. And that's simply because there's more than one chain in the Kadena underlying blockchain, which means that you no longer have to mine to a pool to put down your variance, because right now the rewards that you'll make are always the same, but if you're mining on a chain like Ethereum, you might get paid once every 10 years or something like that when you win a block. But in a system like Kadena's, where there's more than one chain to be mined at the same time, that significantly brings down your variance of how often you get paid. So it really is bringing forward also what it means to build mining pools in a new way for sort of this mining 2.0 that, as I mentioned, being scalable, is also sustainable. Also there's a lot of work to be done out there with wallets, because Kadena supports all sorts of standards to sign transactions, as you can see with gas stations, multi-sig, etc. And what we really envision is people not even have to worry about devices like ledgers and those type of things, because you can start leveraging devices that you already own to set up multi-sig key sets and ways to sort of protect your money with smart wallets in a way that's gas efficient, but more importantly, very, very, very user friendly. So that's just some of the things that are possible. I'd like to go on, but I think I may pick up the rest of the time here.
Lots of energy for ideas, and certainly hit up Francesco. He's flying out tonight to South by Southwest to speak there. We're
Nice.
excited to join your conference, Justin. Feel free to plug that. Dcentral Austin. We're excited to meet our community out there. We're also going to be at Bitcoin Miami too.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely be at Bitcoin Miami, and then we're hosting our Dcentral conference in June as well too. This is during Consensus Week, and obviously we invited the whole team here to come through. We want to get everybody represented there on the big stage as well too. So definitely come by, check it out. We host a lot of cool things. For this week, it should be super fun too in Austin. We're calling it Web3 Summer. So we want to bring all the best of Web3, JPEG collector degens, NFT degens, DeFi farmers, Humber farmers, and
builders,
as well.
builders,
and builders, of course. Yeah. And that's kind of like what our goal is, to just bring all those different perspectives all together in one place. And that's kind of the difference between Dcentral events and what we do. That's just from being in the space since 2000. For me, it's just been since 2000, around 16. And so I've always liked the ideas of a multi-chain experience, cross-chain, not single chain maxi, but also to learn. I think we're together in terms of the whole industry. We'll grow all together as well. And liquidity moves and bridges across each other as well. And there's also just shared space across different ecosystems too. So that's what we would like to highlight here at Dcentral. We'll be happy to host you guys again. And then also too, we hope to have kind of a maybe like even like a Kadena showcase day where we just showcase a lot of the projects that's building in the ecosystem. I'll talk to some of the guys, and we'll try to make that happen. Fully online event as well, so everybody can access it and you can see what's coming up.
Justin, you're multi-chain, but you still have your Kadena hoodie. So
let's get. I forgot about that. Yeah.
And I saw my Satoshi swag too. So
I've got Stuart in the background. That's enough for me. Yeah, but really,
how could I forget? Yeah, sorry about that, guys. you gotta rep the hoodie. Yeah, I was able to get this too. Limited edition. This might be an
there
NFT.
You go. I don't have one yet.
Oh yeah, okay. Nice. Limited one of one, not really, but hopefully we'll get that piece out together. And thanks again everybody that kind of hopped on as well. We'll get you guys again in a follow-up chat as well as the ecosystem further develops. We'll keep in touch, keeping tabs as well too. And thanks again for everybody that's been hopping on here, all the Kadena cadets out there.
Yeah, thanks to everyone. Feel free to reach out. We're looking for builders, all shapes and sizes, whatever you're trying to build. As long as it's on Kadena, we're here for you. So yeah, we'll keep you updated, and there's lots more to come on our end.
You know, one last thing, follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn.
Yeah, what's your guys'
Telegram.
does the Kadena Eco has it on Twitter as well too, or not yet?
To be released, coming soon.
Okay.
We have other news that we're excited to launch in the next month or so. Be on the lookout. Very excited by what we have really worked on for the last 4 weeks since I joined, and a lot of amazing announcements over the next 4 weeks as well. So get ready, join our team, join our community, and bring those ideas for our innovation.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, guys. We'll definitely follow along on Twitter, and for those that are watching and tuning in as well too, we'll continue on with more AMA series. With we had Cadix last week. This week's Kadena. Next week we have Hype% as well too, focusing on launch pads and bringing on new projects in the ecosystem as well too. So we're excited to host that here at Dcentral, and hopefully we'll see you in Austin and online as well too. Awesome. Well, thanks again, guys.